Everybody, welcome in. Settle down, take a seat. Oh, let's see. Broadcasting live from Orange County where we're experiencing this torrential atmospheric river. My man brought his kayak in today. He seriously bought a kayak. We got some sharks might be popping up on the freeway. Well, let's see if anyone's... Yeah, please hit the subscribe button, like. If you've tuned in before, everybody knows my name is Chris, and this is the Innova Advantage. If you hear any noise in the background, we are in a working environment. So in this show, we go over all things OBD2 and almost anything vehicle related. Try to stay on topic a bit, but I want to thank everybody for joining us today. What's up, Zog? I probably need some more coffee, huh? This is sleepy weather. Yeah, so today we're going to go over we're going to explore, do a little exploring with the IM monitor status, go over the monitor icons on your scanner or our scanner to let you know a little more about them, or I'll let you know a lot more about them. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. We're primarily just going over the main ones. I mean, there's 15 monitors total. Diesels have their own specific ones, and then there's ones that are only, which are compression ignition vehicles, and there's ones only for spark ignition. Then there's monitors that are shared for both vehicles. Yeah, excuse me, we got Frank the forklift operator in the background.
Just keep going, bud.
So, yeah. So anytime, again, any questions about our scanners, please chime in. Any thoughts, questions, suggestions, let us know, and we'll try our best to answer your questions here live on our program. If we don't get to you or you don't feel like going live, you can go to innova.com, Innova.com, our website, and you can go to our blogs there and ask our community to ask questions. So, okay, let's get this show on the road. Let's get this thing started. Let's kick it off. So right here, in Mr. Lefty, Ivor bestseller, our flagship tool, the 5610 car scan tool. Let me just relink this bad boy. Now, real quick, the top three features I've gone over before, but the thing that separates this from the rest of the pack, and makes us the head of the pack, is the fact that it has active tests that supports most 1996 newer vehicles. That's including European vehicles as well. This can do relearning functions, not for European vehicles, only domestic and Asian, which is like crankshaft relearn, and it has OEM enhanced live data. How long is, oh, hey Zog, your first time joining, thanks for joining us. Okay, let's look at the cable here. It's not super long. Let's see, let's get a minute. It's about 6 feet, because I'm about 6 feet tall. And when it's stretched out, it's a little under 6 feet. I have it connected to the simulator. But yeah, it's only 6 feet. We do have extensions you can actually buy. We might actually provide those in the future.
Yeah, 6 feet.
But they're 6 feet. I think they're about an inch or two short, but because, yeah. Okay, again, so yeah, this is a bi-directional tool. It does active tests, like it can control your fuel pump, your solenoid, different solenoids, your cylinders, fuel injectors. If you know, also it has a relearning features for crank relearn, brake pedal position sensor, things like that, throttle sweep. And then it does OEM enhanced live data. That's not just only for check engine, but it will do ABS, SRS, TPMS, and transmission live data. Okay, so those are just the three. There's multiple features of those, but they're the three things that set this apart from our other scanners. Now, what we're gonna do today, we're just gonna go over a little kind of a simple topic. Maybe some of these people watching today, this might be a little boring because you know about this, but we're just gonna go over what's on the display screen, just generically. Not every icon that's possible could show up here. There's, for example, with the monitors, there's 15 maximum. It's impossible for a vehicle to have all 15 because diesels have their own. that are only for diesels, compression ignition, and then there's spark ignition vehicles that only have their own, like O2 sensors. And then they share some, like the misfire fuel and comprehension monitor, for example, or EGR. So what we're gonna do first here, obviously this part down here is where you get your code on any code scanner. A lot of scanners, they don't have this information all on one screen. As soon as you connect this, and I'll show you, it doesn't need batteries. This one has batteries in it. That's why I didn't power off when I disconnected. It powers onto the accessory fuses, but let's show you how quick this thing loads. Again, so it's gonna show the firmware. Yeah, you can go ahead and ask any question you want about the tool. Now, do we provide fix advices on how to fix your car? Now, yes and no. A lot of us here are ASC certified. We do. I'm not a master tech. We do have some master techs in the back. We're actually over there working. We do have a Repair Solutions 2 app that you can use with this tool on your smartphone or tablet. It's free, no additional charges, and the app will provide the fix information based off your code, the most likely fix, and then it will direct you to Amazon, for example, to get the part. Yeah, so Dog, you got my answer earlier, right? The fact that the cable it's about 6 feet. So yeah, OIAS, I think I've talked to you last week as well. So go ahead and ask any other question you may have, but we can't right here provide any fix information just because, for liability reasons, but we have our RS2 app that's directly linked to the tool and communicating with the vehicle. So you can use the RS2 app, and you'll see it on the screen right here. When you have the tool loaded, can I get a screen? It will talk about our RS2 app right here. There you go. And it's free, no hidden subscriptions. You could scan as many vehicles as you want, as many times, and get that fix information. So hopefully that answered your question for now. Oh, how much does this cost? Okay, so this is a good question. This thing's on sale a lot, to be honest. We do have an alternate version called the 5160RS as well, to let you know, same tool, different colors, different retailers, but the 5610, they're about $345, $350 standard price. Now, if you go on our website, we have them a little more. We're trying to get away from selling them on our website. We actually, because Amazon is probably the best place to buy them at. They're usually, we had a sale in January. It's a little too late now. They were going for about $230, but now they're back to regular price. TikTok, we have them on there sometimes, believe it or not, in sale. But I would look around because we do have coupon offers. We have surveys you could take where you may be able to get a 30% coupon off this tool, things like that. But standard price, $345. Again, just look out for sales. I don't know, we might have a Valentine's sweetheart deal coming up. I'm not sure. Maybe that's something I can get in my earpiece here now. I can get some information and pass it along. So let's see, Mad Punky, oh, you're back. Okay, is that RS2 all free? Okay, it is free. Like I said, there's no annual cost. You can scan as many vehicles as you like. It has TSBs and recalls. You have RepairPal in there. We're partnered with them, so you can link to RepairPal to schedule appointments. It will link you to Amazon or whoever the retailer you purchased the tool from. When you first set up the app, you'll select your retailer, and then you can actually go to that retailer to get the part for your fix. The only thing in the app that charges, and it's optional, is if you're trying to buy a used car, sell your car, and you want to run a health and history report, just like a Carfax. That's standard. Those are $10, but that's only if you're trying to buy a car, sell a used car, because it will pretty much tell you all the accidents or anything it's ever been through. Because obviously a code reader is not going to tell you if a vehicle has been through an accident. It'll just tell you if there's any codes present. So, okay, so, welcome in, Seneca. Yeah, we need to have more sales, huh? So yeah, we did have one on TikTok where it was 207, maybe, I don't know when it's going to go back, but Amazon, that's usually the best place to get them for the best price. So, okay, so I'm just going to move along here. So on the screen, okay, so, ooh, nice. So if you buy the tool and decide it's not what I need, what do I return? And our returns accepted. So now, if you buy it straight from us, which it's a 30-day return policy. And as I say, even though we're the manufacturer, we have them a little more pricey just because We're pushing it. We want people to buy from Amazon or our brick and mortar stores like AutoZone, Advance, O'Reilly's. We even have them at Summit Racing, Napa, Jegs. If you're in Canada, Canadian Tire as well. So they're in a lot of places. So if you get it from another store, it depends on their policy, but through us, it's a 30-day return. That's why we recommend Amazon, because Amazon always has the 30-day return policy. Then on top of that, after the 30-day return policy, we have a 1-year warranty. And even more, sometimes be on the lookout, we do run surveys or certain promos where you can get an extended warranty up to 2 to 3 years. But again, returns 30 days with Innova, 30 days on Amazon. Other brick and mortar stores, it's up to them. But again, we have the 1-year warranty, and just be on the lookout for extended warranty offers as well. And then and again, no questions asked. We don't question. We want to make sure, you know, the customer's happy, and you got a working tool. So yeah, no questions asked. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go ahead and skip right here. So now we're on the display screen of the 5610. Now this is going to be standard on all of our scan tools. So right here, it's going to show the code first. And as you see, there's 1 of 8, so there's 8 different codes. It's going to tell you what type of code it is. This is pending, meaning it's still testing. You keep going down, it will tell you more of the description, and once the description's done, you keep pushing down to go to the next code and so on. You have stored, pending, stored, you know, you can erase those right away. Pending, it's still testing, so you got to keep complete what is known as a drive cycle. So we'll go back all through the codes, and then you got your freeze frame. Permanent code, you need to fix it, drive the vehicle around so the vehicle knows it's been fixed, then it will reset on its own. Then you got your freeze frame data, which is kind of like a snapshot. Anytime that your engine has a camera, so anytime you're driving, there's an issue, it will take a snapshot, and hence the word freeze frame, and save it up to 100 frames. So go back here. So then those are just the codes, and we got a Ford vehicle, as you can see. This shows that the check engine light's on. If the ABS light or other lights would be on, it would have those as well as the check engine. This shows that it's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi compatible. That's with our RS2 app, Repair Solutions 2. Now, before I get into the IM monitor status, these are what are monitoring. These are all check engine related. The first 3 are continuous, meaning they're always checking. That's misfire, fuel, comprehension, component monitor, and then the other are non-continuous. Now, the vehicle, and I'll get back to those. Now this vehicle, that means it's linked to the vehicle. And sometimes you have arrows here. Those arrows just mean it's trying to link. And then with this tool, you don't have to worry. You might get a computer icon. That just means you're connected to our software on a laptop or computer, but this doesn't use software on a computer or laptop. It uses our RS2 app on a smartphone or tablet. Okay, so back to these monitors. Oh. What does the blinking mean? Okay, I was gonna get to that. So the blinking means those are still being tested, they're pending. Hence, when go back to when I was looking at these codes, how it says pending. So pending, it's still testing these monitors, and that's where these pending codes are related to. Intake air temperature sensor. So there you got your air monitor flashing. Back here, you get the pedal position, you got your heated catalyst. So yeah, those that are blinking are to do with pending. And red, just because they're red, it doesn't mean necessarily there's going to be an issue. Right now, the vehicle, the tool thinks there's an issue, but you got to complete that drive cycle in order to clear it out. If it stops blinking and goes green, then you won't get a code, and that pending code will disappear on its own. But more than likely, the pending code may become stored or permanent, and then it will stop blinking and remain red. That means that issue needs to be taken care of. So that's all the blinking means, that those are being tested. There's potential codes. That's what pending means, the potential. Just like if you go to the doctor and you're sick, but you don't know what you have. The doctor's going to take a bunch of tests, run those tests. Once the tests are complete, they can determine what you're sick with, diagnose you with what you need to get better. So that's basically what these pending codes are. Okay, so yeah, please subscribe if anyone, if you like what you're seeing here. Okay, so now we're going to get into the juicy stuff, more into the monitors. Now, the first 3, and they're on the screen too, and they're continuous, and this applies for compression and spark ignition vehicles. Compression ignition vehicles, basically, they're diesel vehicles. Now, your misfire, It's continuous. It's always monitoring the misfire candidate. It's you're basically monitoring your crankshaft position, your crankshaft speed. That's what it's looking at there. And there's different types of misfire, type 1 and 3, which means you usually got to drive around. I mean, it's pending that you got to drive around and let the code set. And then there's the type 2 misfire, which you'd think it'd be 3, but type 2 misfire means your misfire monitor is blinking, or your check engine light's flashing off consistently. That means you have a bad misfire. Do not drive the vehicle. It could affect the catalytic converter. Get it towed to your nearest dealer or your mechanic to get it repaired. Now, the next one is fuel. Now, this is always it's basically your fuel trim system, which is in your live data, which you can monitor. It's basically adding or subtracting fuel from the engine. So basically, if something's too lean, it adds fuel. If something's too rich, it adds oxygen. Now, if the addition or subtraction is way off, then that's when code sets in, because it's compensating, altering too much for the fuel trim system. So that's pretty easy one. Now, the comprehension component monitored, so it's right there, component in there. It's always looking at the different switches, components, actuators, relays, making sure they're functioning correctly, make sure that the input's providing the desired output. Basically determining if it's rational. If there's irrationality in between there, then it's not doing its job correctly. So all those three apply for diesel vehicles, gas engine, all those right there. So again, compression ignition or diesel, spark or non-diesels. Now, those are those three. They're continuous. Now, these next monitors are non-continuous. Now, these only usually take effect if there's an issue with one of the sensors for one of these systems. For example, the one that a lot of people know about just because it's in the news, people get them stolen from their vehicles all the time, is the catalytic converter. Now, the catalytic converter basically oxidizes, which means burns hydrocarbons, unburned fuel, and converts it into hydrogen and carbon monoxide. So basically that's what it does. And I was getting a little scientific there. I do have a science background. So that's what it does. And the substrate that it's made of, the catalytic converter, is like a honeycomb, similar to the PM filter, which we'll get to, which is for diesel vehicles, the particulate matter filter. Okay, so how do you access the special functions on this tool? Okay, so let's go back here to this. Okay, right here. So you see, we're already connected to the vehicle. Press the menu button. So there you go. Make sure the tool's fully up to date too. I always got to remind you, everyone, it probably is. The updates are free, and they're done on a computer or a PC, computer, laptop, PC, Mac. Whoa, what happened there? The screen's gone. Okay, so here you go. So when you're in the menu, active test or your bidirectional test, that's for commanding switches, relays, and actuators. But for the relearning functions, it's your special functions, the second option. Hit enter, which is the middle button. It's going to confirm if that's your vehicle. Now, I'm hooked up to a 2024 F-150 in a simulator. So the simulator is not programmed completely for the car. Oh, and it shows them. There we go. So here are the 6 relearning features it supports for this specific vehicle. Again, go to innova.com to check our coverage checker to make sure your year, make, model, and engine size vehicle supports the specific functions you're looking for your vehicle. It will give you a list there. For example, it will clear the transmission adaptive tables, halt transmission adaptive learning, throttle bottle relearn procedure, yada, yada, bada bing, bada boom. There you go. So. Oh, yeah, thank you, Zog. Yeah, we do have an option, our coverage checker. So again, Innova.com, well, if you go there, right there up the upper left, we have a coverage checker. If you click on support, you can go to our manuals, our update, our software, our OBD2 updater is there to download as well. We do, if you just want to we have our support search bar. If you just put in any keywords and want any help about monitor misfires or any other information, just put in a keyword and you can look at our handy dandy helpful Help Scout articles. Okay, so let's move it along here. Oh yeah, these are definitely compatible with diesel vehicles. Yeah, see, that's what sets us apart from a lot of other competitors. Yes, they work with diesels, especially they're a higher end tool like the 5610, but even our basic 5110 or 3011, they can read diesel vehicles. But of course, If you want the DPF regen or reset, that's what this 5610 is for, and our tablets. I can't believe I didn't mention that, but yeah, this does have DPF regen and reset for diesel vehicles. That would be under service resets for the DPF reset. So yes, it would work great with diesel vehicles, and even heavy duty trucks like up to, for example, Ford F550. So let's go back here.
Sorry, Chris, we got one more.
Oh, another question, nice. Okay, so to update the tool, Seneca, so here, let me go. I have a computer right here. Let's take a look. Okay, so we started at Innova.com, INNOD. So as you can see, I know maybe, let's see, I'm kind of working from an angle. We don't have our side camera today, but our coverage checker's here. There's the first option you can click on, right? Now let's take you straight to our coverage checker to check coverage. Now, right here, this is the support. Scanner updates, that's where you get it, and it's on manuals. There's two different places. Manuals, you get your manuals, but you'll see a link. But here you go, scanner update. There you go. So it's going to have an explanation. Windows, Mac, just click on whatever link, right? I wonder if this one's already saved on here, but let's just download this one. So we'll go ahead and download Windows. Once it's installed, okay, it's downloading. So basically, like, so click on it. I'm going to open it when it's done. Sorry, I'm an Android guy. I'm not used to. I'm a PC. It's downloaded. So basically, once it's done, it's going to install. You know, it's going to say allow unknown publishers. Anything that's non-Microsoft or non-Mac is going to say unknown publishers because they want you to buy their stuff strictly. So it's always going to say that. So yeah, allow unknown publishers, or if on a Mac, you might have to go unlock, go down security and preferences, and then allow unknown publishers. So once you download, then install. Yes, because Mac security, that's why I don't like Mac, and I'm a PC guy. But anyways, the whole point is, do you have it already on here?
Here, let me just grab this real quick.
But anyways, once you install the OBD2 updater, it's going to be on your screen. It's like orange, yellow, and blue. But what you'll do, now, this is one of my pet peeves here, and I'm going to be brutally honest. This tool doesn't come with a USB cable, and I wish it did, and I've always been harping on them to do this, because you think, I mean, a lot of people probably have USB cables, but it gets confusing because there's two types of USB cables. There's a USB charging cable that just charges. Then you got the USB data cable that does both. And they look really similar. So for this one, this is a USB data cable. And the way you'll know is when you connect it, if you connect it with the USB charging cable, it will say tool status disconnected. If you have to have a data cable and it will connect and say tool status connected. And if there's an update, it will say update now. If not, it just says connected. But you plug it in right here. See? And then this goes into the USB port of your laptop or desktop. And make sure you already have the OBD tool launched. So we've downloaded, installed it, launch it on your desktop or laptop. Then connect it via USB data cable. Once you do that, it'll give it a few seconds. It'll say tool status connected. If there's available update, it'll say update now. Click on that. It takes about 10, 15 minutes. Looks like it's moving along real fast at first, but once it gets to the database, it takes a while. Once the database is done downloading, then it will tell you when update complete, you can take it off. So you already have it here?
It is, right, but we can skip over that.
But yeah, so that's basically the gist of it, to update it. And updates are free. The tool only goes up to 2022 right now. I know it's 2024. We're a little delayed, but because we're trying to make a little more improvements here, make sure it goes out smooth. We do have another free update coming out in the next few weeks to a month to bring it up to 2023. We've used to be 2 years behind because of factory warranty. We know vehicles shouldn't have issues, but we know people want to play with their new toys. So our tools are about 1.5 years behind now. They're going to get to the point where they're around 6 to 8 months behind the current year, but a lot of competitors, they charge and they're not even that current. And don't forget to subscribe. Now back to the monitors here. So we were going over the catalytic converters were basically started to be put in the cars in the 80s. I mean, it basically reduces pollutants in the atmosphere. That's its main job. They're expensive, as you know. They have oxygen sensors upstream and downstream in them. But as you know, in the news, people are stealing them all the time because of the precious resources. But yeah, that's your catalytic converter. One thing, as I mentioned earlier, if you got a check engine light that's flashing consistently like a broken traffic light or like a old school VCR that no one knows how to change the time on, if it's blinking like that, you got a bad cylinder misfire, don't drive the vehicle. It could damage your catalytic converter, and that could be very expensive. The next one we have, the heated catalytic converter. Now, catalytic converters aren't in compression vehicles. They have a different kind of catalyst. The heated catalytic converters are not in compression as well, only spark. Those are not in every vehicle that has a catalytic. That actually just speeds up, because the word catalyst, it just speeds up the reaction times, makes it happen faster. So the heated catalyst just heats it up faster. Usually those are more advanced vehicles. European, German vehicles like to use that a lot. We'll go, so that's that. Now, evap is one of the most annoying ones for people with smog. But here in California, you have to have all of these not blinking, except you can have evap blinking. That's the only one that doesn't have to set to pass smog in California. Other states is different. I know evap can be very, what's the word for it? Very, can't make up its mind. Sometimes it depends on the atmospheric pressure with it, or where you're at as well. I mean, in the mountains, it might be harder to run the evap. I have no problem in my Mustang here in California, but evap's usually the biggest pain for people. But yeah, that's basically your evaporative system. The most common code you get is a gas cap code for that. If your gas cap's is gone, missing, just, messed up, or not tightened all the way. That's just like the evap fuel. It tracks your fuel line systems, you know, your charcoal canister, making sure there's no gas. If it picks up any evap leaks, you know, it's gas is leaking, something, fuel is getting out of your car somewhere. So it looks at that, your neck filler, things like that. So that's your evap. And then, okay, so the hydrocarbon catalyst. Now, this is only for compression vehicles, ignition vehicles, diesels. These are only started usually in the year 2010 and after. The HCC hydrocarbon catalyst is also called the non-methane hydrocarbon catalyst, so it has two names. Typically, it's NHMC, non-methane hydrocarbon. So this is it's not a catalytic conversion, but this is the type of catalyst they have in ignition, compression ignition vehicles in order to burn the hydrocarbons faster, basically, because diesels have a higher temperature. And then you got more nitrogen in there. So basically, this removes non-methane hydrocarbons from the vehicle, and it measures the quantity of it in the exhaust stream. So basically, it's making sure it converts it to what? Water and nitrogen, oxides of nitrogen, that is. So, and the next one we got is the NOx sensor, the after treatment monitor, which is, this is added on the support of the catalyst. Basically, it's been coated with zeolites. This reduces oxides of nitrogen in there, so it's also for the exhaust stream. So this is only for diesel vehicles. You won't find this in your regular vehicles. So that's that. It reduces the oxides of nitrogens in the exhaust stream. Let's see if we have any questions. Yeah, you have a 23-year-old car? Yeah. If you have in 2001? Yeah. So yeah, these tools would work with all 1996 and newer. But yeah, for these compression or these type of monitors I was just going over, they were started putting in vehicles 2010 and newer, as the government's doing more climate change things and more regulations for less pollutants in the atmosphere. So that's that. Now let's get to the oxygen sensor, heat oxygen sensor, and exhaust gas recirculation. Now the oxygen sensor and heat oxygen sensor are only in spark ignition vehicles. I know you can have a lean or rich air. This helps with the combustion reactions, basically with the cylinder, you know. So that's that. And then the heated oxygen sensor as well. It only reaches at a certain temperature. Now, exhaust gas recirculation. This one applies for compression and spark ignition vehicles. This one basically, it just regulates nitrogen back into the exhaust system. Well, actually, let's say my 56 seems to freeze up when recording live data. It locks up and it will sometimes show results. And these results, you know, for that question here, to be honest, I can't really get into that here. This is one where you have to call our customer service line so they can help you troubleshoot on the phone. There could be multiple factors. But yeah, I would call. We're open now. Our number is 800-544-4124. We're open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Back in my days when I first started long ago in this company, I was in the customer service department. But yeah, I would give them a call to help handle that issue. That way they can get right on it for you. Sometimes we can, if it is an internal issue, they might be able to provide a remote update fix for it. But yeah, please give our customer service line a call, 800-544-4124. Okay, and Mad Punky, do these tools have Spanish? Yes, they're English, Spanish, and French. Got to take a sip there. So yeah, we also, like I said, it's English, Spanish, and French. We even have a Spanish line as well. So obviously we're primary English, but if you speak Spanish, you can call our Spanish line as well. Oh, you're welcome. Well, you have a good one. Okay, so let's go on with. Okay, so we got so basically, yeah, that was it.
I think you're done with the last one.
Yeah.
So go ahead and switch to the next. We got one more.
Let's say we got.
One more. There you go. That one.
We got one more here. Now these are only for compression ignition systems as well, diesels. You have your boost pressure system monitor. Basically, that just increases the pressure produced by the intake manifold to greater levels in the atmospheric pressure, so it raises it up. That's usually for you're in the mountains, So those are diesel vehicles. Exhaust gas sensor. It measures the content. Those are diesels again, compression ignition vehicles. It measures the contents in the exhaust stream, basically. And then the diesel particulate filter monitor, also known as the PM monitor. That's what it shows up on the screen. That's the particulate matter. Now this is similar to a catalytic converter where it has the honeycomb filter substrate. This basically burns the soot and then gets rid of more hydrocarbons here and recycles it. And that's basically it for all the monitors. Now there's 15 maximum. There's not one vehicle that has all 15 because again, there's one that are just meant for diesel vehicles and monitors that are just meant for spark ignition vehicles, and then there's monitors that are shared between them. Now these last icons, I kind of went over some of them, but they're not as essential, but so first one, this means it's linked to the vehicle. You'll see it on the screen here. And then this, you'll see it's trying to link to the vehicle. It's under the car usually, it's linked. The computer, you don't have to worry about that. That's from our older tools that used to use the software on a computer. There's no software for computer or laptop. Only to update this tool, it does have our free RS2 app that you can use on a smartphone or tablet. And then that's just, the plus or minus lets you know if the battery life in the tool, if it's how it is. This tool, again, doesn't need batteries. All of our tools power on through the accessory fuses. They added this optional battery for OBD1 vehicles. If you have OBD1 adapters and extension cable, you can read and clear OBD1 check engine codes. It will give you the description. That's for only check engine codes for OBD1, none of the advanced features. Also, it will save up to 3 vehicles with or without batteries. So if you're in the house and you don't want to hook it up to your vehicle or your vehicle's gone, you can put in batteries to look at the last 3 vehicles scanned and look at your codes. So you don't need batteries. I recommend not using the batteries is because it powers onto the accessory fuses. And if you forget about the batteries, which I've done with Christmas decorations, is it could have battery leakage and ruin and get on the motherboard through the back. But hey, that's it. I mean, pretty simple stuff. I mean, some of them I know were not as simple. Again, we're just going over the monitors. So again, that's going to do it today, folks. Oh, do the IM monitors display on the RS2 app? Yes, they do display on the RS2 app. So you can look at the IM monitor status on there as well. Let's see if any other questions. Now, if anyone forgets or you get here later, you just don't want to feel like asking a question here, go to Innova.com and you can see here, let me go back. You can go back actually on our support page. Let me show here. Let me move this. we have a community. Yeah, where you can go on the community. Yeah, it's easier with a mouse, it's hard. So you can go on the community here. And there you go. You can ask questions, ideas, requests. We have news, blogs, topic discussions, all that stuff. So if you want to ask any questions, have any ideas or suggestions, you can go there. But yeah, that's going to do it today. So thanks again for joining us. This is a weekly program. We were doing it at 3, now we're doing it at 11. We're just trying to gauge to see when we have our biggest audience. But again, tune in next Tuesday. We do this on Thursdays on TikTok. Usually TikTok has a lot more crowd going on there. So again, check in next week. If you have any recommendations for shows as well, you can leave them on our ideas and requests in our community. But we're trying to build this up to get to the point where we'll have longer shows and we'll actually do live training. We'll get some of our master techs on here and we'll get our professor, we call him the professor, on here. And Dr. Daddy Diag, as they call him, Daddy Diag. So be tuned in to check next week. Tune in next week. And if you guys have any ideas for you want any stickers, any Innova merch, any skins, any special requests, just please let us know. And have a nice day.